All right, awesome. So this is the event number 25 from iSketch to AI Sketch and 3D Revolution. We're gonna click go live. I actually need to click twice, and I got an error saying something is wrong. Okay, let's see what is wrong. Okay, nothing should be wrong. Okay, we test the system. All right, so it looks like we go live. I see the list, it's growing. Awesome. So this is the event number 25 for the LinkedIn audio event, call it From iSketch to AI Sketch and 3D Revolution. My name is Sandu Baciu. And prior to start the meeting, I really like to do some tests with the system to make sure the internet is going well, to make sure the list from the listener, it's okay, it looks like it's working. So if you hear me, give me a sign. I see a thumbs up from Big Al. Thank you, Big Al. So it looks like this is working. So that was the first thing to test to make sure it's okay. Sometimes the internet give us some troubles, which is okay. We have solutions. With me, I have also Brent. He's one of the invites. I do expect other invites to come with me as well. Again, prior to jump to the meeting, I just want to make two small announcements. Tomorrow also at this time, it's another event number 38 for AICC, that means Artificial Intelligence Content Creators. I'm one of the hosts along with Big Al and also with Liliana, so join us tomorrow as well. The link to that event is posted in the comments here. And also this is an open interactive discussion. Please come with us here on stage. On the bottom right, there is a hand. Click on that hand, which is going to allow me to bring you here on the stage. So, come with us on stage, have your feedback. Let's have a cool discussion. So, that being said, Brent, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, by all means. Hey, welcome everybody. I'm a founder of a company called AR Hero, and we have built a very simple and easy to use augmented reality publishing platform, really helping creators, brand managers, business owners, people who aren't developers be able to use this amazing technology and use the pipeline to create an image in Midjourney and possibly create a mesh, let's say with some of the tools like Common Sense Machine, CSM, and then visualize it for their brand or their product in AR Hero in just a couple clicks. Should be under 60 seconds to publish a site. And we will have examples throughout the session linked to the QR code at the session link. And I'll be changing that on the fly probably about every 15 minutes so we can load a new scene. And so bring your questions and your models and your thoughts and your applications. Game on.
Oh, yeah.
Creator economy and business. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, as you guys you realize, it's a nice number, 25, which means since half year we have those meetings, which is pretty cool. I'm really excited about it. And I thought will be quite interesting to have it interactive in the sense that, you guys, you can listen, but if you look to the picture of the event, when you are on LinkedIn and let's say you are in front of your desktop, there is actually on the upper left side, it's a QR code hidden over there. So with your phone, you can scan that and it's going to open different 3D models. And as Brent said, on the fly, you can check it every 15 minutes and that is going to change. And you can have also an interactive meeting with us and playing with that AR 3D model, which I think is really cool and kind of makes my introduction too. I think with AI we can be really innovative. I think soon we're gonna pass the thing like iSketch and iWillKetch, because there are a ton of platforms right now. We have platforms very, very strong. With AI, from a sketch, you can upload it a model, and using the prompt, you can easily make that as a very realistic 3D render. But it's not a 3D render; it's actually AI created. And you can take that information and with different other software, as Brent mentioned, maybe CSM, the Common Sense Machine, but there are others as well. You can either do it as a 3D or you can do it as a 2.5. With 2.5, you can use LabPix. It's basically extracting the mesh. It's a depth map kind of technology, and you can see the model basically in 3D, which it helps a lot to have it actually exported and put it in the virtual reality with your phone, and you can walk around, and I think that is quite interesting. So you should use that. It's actually the future, and it's part of the 3D revolution. So that being said, Brent, what innovative ways you use on your side? I know you use a little bit of AI as well, so if you can explain us a little bit more.
Oh goodness, AI across the board. From the beginning of as simple as ChatGPT for text content creation. I have my brand book and an entire AI agent that's on point that can help create content on the fly, obviously for needing copyright and approval, but spot on. And we also have it integrated with Midjourney prompt engineering, so that you can use ChatGPT to actually write a script, refine a script, get a Midjourney prompt, and then feed that to Midjourney. So you can get a more refined, precise model. Let's say you're looking for a character, you want an avatar, full body, T-pose, high fidelity, 4K, cinematic lights, Unreal Engine rendering, so you get the lights, right? And that will create a bit of the depth map that will be ready for the 3D image to mesh rendering engines. And we'll have a little bit of better, hallucination on the rounded curves and things like that. Now, obviously, I don't want to leave out that you could certainly use Blender or any creator tools and create a mesh as well outside of AI, and then slowly refine that using scripts. Even inside of Blender, you could write ChatGPT Python script that inside of Blender, decimates a model and cleans up that model. And so it's kind of opening up the conversation for the lots of different ways that it can be done.
Yeah, for people which are on the audience, again, just a reminder, feel free to click on that hand, come with us here on stage, and we can have a really good discussion. But I guess for people which they were on my events before, this event, it's actually in 3 parts. The first part is talking about the innovation. The second part will be related to the news of AI, and actually there are some really good news on the AI world for this week. And the last part, usually I'm on the 3D side, 3D revolution, I'm talking about that. But right now I'm trying to make the merging between those, because we can use the augmented reality, the AR, to have that. And, Brent is going to probably present us his platform, AR Hero. Maybe, Brent, if you want to talk about that a little bit. And after that, we jump also on the news.
Yeah, sure thing. Oh, that'd be great. So we are opening up the platform to the creator economy. I've been developing this for over 7 years, and I know there are other options, Niantic and Eighth Wall, that you can build out entire code bases, and build out a very unique scene. We focused on something really specific with the industry, and we've made a very simple model, for showcasing augmented reality for the end user. Because in my world, in 2 years of development, we've built it out. People kept saying, like, my brain is blown. Augmented reality is amazing. But what's it do? What's the function of this as a viewer? It gave me a great experience, 30, 90, 3-minute, experience. I'm interactive. I'm experiencing, this 3D model. I'm walking through this home. But what's it do? And so we built in an embedded programmable button in our augmented reality scenes. So people can actually reprogram that to have the client lead wherever you want them to go. It could be schedule a consultation. It could be purchase this tiny home. It could be buy this blender. It could be buy this Mid-Journey art print, and I want to print it on Printify or Printly, print on demand. And so that artists who create, great AI art in Mid-Journey or whatever, image creator, or make interactive books can bring up an experience with their image, but then also lead their client deeper in the sales funnel. And that could be buy the book. We also have analytics on the back end that actually show how many people have viewed the website, how many people have viewed the AR scene, and ultimately how many people have clicked on that call to action as part of your business.
Yeah, no, the technology is quite interesting, no doubt about it. And actually, as you said, you can access this. Probably we should explain the basics. You can actually even access the AR through a QR code. Here on this picture, which I have it for the event, I actually made a quick trick. I blended two images. So what I did, I took an image which was done actually with Mid-Journey, but it could be done with any text-to-image render, and you have that render. And separate, I have one of those free QR codes, and you basically mix it, and I have it also posted here on the comments so people can see how that can be done. And after that, you see that QR code kind of get integrated. In the future, it's obviously the QR code has got those references, the big three squares, which kind of lets you know that is a QR code. But in my opinion, probably in time, that can be fully blended. Basically, you can have a QR code which looks like an image, and that is actually extremely innovative because you can blend the QR code, not even know is there. And when you have your phone out, automatically the system may identify that, and obviously you can have an AR, augmented reality interaction and experience. So what do you think about that, Brent, regarding...
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of, kung fu masters. About, 6 months, 9 months ago, that technology started coming out from a development team, in China, and they had, what was this, QR... I'll write the link in, and I'll write the paper in the comment section after the session. Some of the originals. They had developed an entire image base of 7,200 images. And then they cracked it. Any of the images that they wanted, animated girl steampunk style over keyboard.
Right.
Would integrate that image with a QR code. The trick was then how to open it up to the rest of us. And I think we have, a couple open source Hugging Face models and Stable Diffusion models that are out there. They're using ControlNet and Clip essentially to determine what are the basic needs of the QR code to load, and then how do we slowly integrate images into each one of those blocks and turn them into 3D. So about 6 months ago, I saw all of us go out and okay, how do we figure this out? What's our example? I made one video that had almost like a laptop. It looked like you're opening up a QR code, and it looks like a laptop dimensionally, and then on where the screen is the QR code and image. It's a little bit frothy, and that's the challenge with a lot of this technology, is pushing the edge, and it's frothy and it breaks a little bit on the user interface side. So it pushes the edge of potentially breaking. It'll get better, but then you have to keep the consideration of, I really want my users to be able to use it and for it to be clickable at all times. And you did a great job with yours. I've tested out on a couple devices, and it seems to have really high fidelity.
Yeah, well, there are some tricks. Yeah. there are some tricks, and that's the reason we keep those events so people can actually learn from it. And again, people from the audience come here with us on the stage, click on that hand. But here is a few things which I want to mention. Like in AR, of course, you can have only an image, but it's better to have the 3D. And that 3D needs to be be optimized. It make sure it's a small size ideal, but it at the same time you want to have textures on it to look nice. So can you optimize the texture? And this is where I'm saying AI can intervene, actually giving you really good optimizations for 3D models, and that could be done automatically. Basically, you can have an optimization with AR. With AI for AR, and that's actually what I'm seeing in the future. The other small thing which and we kind of jump on the news a little bit. The other thing which I see it right now, it's a scanning code for one object, but you explain actually you can have multiple objects, and you can hide some of them, and you can have some animations. And can you explain a little bit more on that side? Just for everybody to be familiar with that.
Let me touch on something else really quick, and then I'll come to the interactivity of models. You mentioned meshes and material layers. You can pull the material layer or the skin off of a model and actually edit that as well with AI. Even one tool that I have on my phone, PhotoLeap, photo editing, tool. They have a lot of AI creation tools integrated, at this point, as everyone does, and you can take a material layer and ask AI to make it, let's say, astronaut, or even create your own prompt, and it will change your material layer according to that prompt. You then take that material layer and you put it back up on your model, and you have a remeshed model.
That's pretty cool.
Sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just a real quick way to iterate, and then play. Regarding the interactivity of scenes and having multiple, it really depends on how you build it. We built the platform to be cross-device compatible. So we have Android users being able to view files that will open up, for Android users. iOS users can open up more interactive scenes because the technology enables that. And so we can build a scene where you click on one image, like let's say your tiny home, and I'll load, that as the QR code in a second. And then when you walk in there, if you click on the tiny home, it might open up the larger home. The larger home that you created. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there too. Yeah.
In 15 minutes. Yeah. And even as you walk closer to something with your phone, it can then open up. Like we could have the blueprint on the ground.
Right.
Of the home, and then when you click on the blueprint, the home opens up, and as you walk up closer to the door, it opens up to another scene. So there's lots of interactive hooks that we can do with AR.
Yeah. So like the example here, you just scan this QR code on the left side. It's opening a house, and you just place it in front of you, basically, and you can walk in that house, literally. And that's the future. Right now, this is pioneering, but I'm saying this being very, very common, very fairly, shortly in time. Like the technology is there. And that brings me to the news. There are a lot of AI news in general, and I want to touch on some of them. So we talk AR, mostly 3D stuff, but let's go back to the to the 2D, text to image. So the first one, which happens last night, which is quite interesting, for people which are using Musavir. This is a new platform. He's got capabilities very similar to Midjourney. Some of the renders are actually really good. But they release a new feature call it Control Gen. So basically with this Control Gen feature, you can actually have references. So I actually play with it this morning also a little bit, and I could see that it's doing the same kind of capabilities which Midjourney have, when you give a reference. And it's even better, you can take this reference directly from your phone or from your desktop, and after that you reprompt it, and it's maintaining the main let's say, features, if it's a vehicle or if it's a character. Well, for character, for consistency will be another update. They didn't have that yet, but you could see it on when you click on that key tool, you'll see it is the next one coming. So I just want to mention that, and I'm not sure if anybody from the audience use it. I really like to have your feedback with your experience with Musavir. So feel free to come with us here on stage. Click on that hand. So that will be a really cool one. The second one, which also is very new, is Midjourney. Midjourney have an upscale right now. They're like 4x. And kind of I was expecting a little bit more to come regarding Midjourney. Obviously, everybody's waiting for version 6. But this 4K update, I think it's actually really good because Musavir, for example, has got the 4K already embedded. So it looks like Midjourney left a little bit behind. They need to fix also the text part. So I do expect major updates on Midjourney. The question is when. With us here on the stage, we have Lance. Lance, thank you for joining us, and feel free to give us your feedback.
Well, I appreciate the chance to come up here and share the stage with you, Sandhu, and Mr. Brandt. Thank you so much for what you guys are discussing, and just the broad scope of what it's allowing people who have been fearful of attempting new things. It's giving people a little bit more courage to try new things, and that's one thing I really appreciate what Sandhu does. He continues to create and push boundaries, and that's really what gives us hope for the future. So I also have been given a little bit of early access to Musavir, which is I'm enjoying it quite a bit. If there's a few people who've had a chance. Not just putting a plug in for me, but there's quite a few people out there doing some more, I think, way more amazing things than I'm creating. But I'm trying to utilize the tool to help me kind of introduce stories and introduce concepts and help with education. So, I ever get a chance, you can check out my profile, and you'll see I started off with a couple of images from that are Justice League based. So I said, of course, I want to improve, the quality of children's lives with reading. So I'm trying to say, well, what if Batman? We all know Bruce Wayne has an amazing library, but
yes,
Batman would have a book nook somewhere too, because he's known as the world's greatest detective. So I kind of pushed that boundary, and then I said, well, man, what can I do next? And then I do it with Superman, and then my prompts were kind of initially they started off a little different, but then with Superman, I said, what if his Fortress of Solitude was a fortress of fact and fiction, and it was entirely made of books? So now I was able to prompt that, and it just really made like really cool images, renderings that made like he was an entire cave of books. And then I said, well, man, I can push this a little further. So then I went to Martian Manhunter. He can, it's cool to see Dr. Uana. Thank you.
Yes.
Good to see you. But she actually said, reading more than one book is sometimes a thing that she practices. I have to stay hyper focused on one, but Martian Manhunter could read multiple books at once. So I incorporated that. And one of my favorite characters, which is the Flash, so I started with Martian Manhunter. I started adding a narrative to kind of like a picture's worth 1,000 words, but now it's appreciated. So now it's worth more than like 1,000,000 words. So I said, well, what would it be if the Flash would teach us how to read, but then learning the superpower of speed reading. And so it's just kind of every time I just kept trying to go further and further and push the envelope. And one of the images is like running through the city reading a book at the same time. The other one is actually he's so fast. He's speeding through every comic book sketch. He's actually reading something. And then of course I added facts like reading. Studies show that 23%. If you read up to 3.5 hours a week, you can live 23% longer than your peers. So it's not only an enhancement of your mind, but it also lengthens your life. So these are things. But Musavir has really helped me. It give images that show what I'm trying to say, and they give life to the narrative. And And so that's really what I wanted to share that Musavir is really giving me the ability to do, and so I just wanted to thank Sandhu for giving me this
Yes.
opportunity. But yeah, I've enjoyed it, man.
No, I definitely, and actually must mention that actually you're right. The Musavir is not as random as Midjourney is. It's actually very fidel. It's got good fidelity to the prompt. Whatever you ask, it's actually what it's giving, which I think it's a big difference. Not too many people feel that, but when you play with different platforms, you realize each platform is different. The same prompt, it's getting different results on whatever platform we use. And I test that with Musavir, with Midjourney, with DALL-E, with Leonardo, and another one or two. And always it's something different. It's like when you're painting, it's like one is watercolor, one is oil paint, one is acrylics, one is like gouache or tempera, you feel it. It's slightly different. There are small nuances, but that makes a clear look for that platform. I can say right now, if I'm seeing an image, I can say, oh, okay, this is look like probably Midjourney. That is Musavir. Obviously, Musavir's got the logo, so it's easy to recognize. But you start getting the flavor. I got the flavor for DALL-E, for instance. DALL-E, in my opinion, is like an engineer. I could see it was a designed by engineer like me for sure, because it's pure technical, but doesn't have that flair for arts. So you can see that, and I kind of want to mention that. And also with us here, we have Dr. Juana, and also we have Ernesto. And Big Al, if you want to join us, we can talk about other stuff which you created as well. Also quite interesting, maybe detective related. So I think we should talk about that too. Feel free to come with us on stage. Dr. Juana.
Really quick, Sandhu.
Yes.
Real quick, Sandhu.
Yes.
I just want to give a great nod to Lance. Your innovation and the idea of building a bridge of like the if this then that idea of like, ooh, I figured this out. Wait a minute, could I do that? And you're like, yeah, now I can do Superman.
Yeah.
Wait, Superman. Wait, can I do this? And it helps build the bridge of creativity and expression. And so I just want to give a big, prop and nod to you, and
do it in AR.
AR Hero platform.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Like let's bring your stories to life. Let's connect, because I like your dreaming.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Really cool.
Yes,
That's the reason.
Sir Lancelot, man, you are killing in the game. I was like, I woke up one day and you were out there putting all these beautiful images online and inspiring everyone. I was very impressed. So kudos to you.
Thank you so
That's
much.
Sandhu started it. Now he's started a revolution.
Yeah, he created a monster with me. They shouldn't have gave me
Yeah.
access. It's too late now. It's like saying sickle to a dog. I
Yeah,
appreciate
no,
you, Sandy.
Lance is addicted, but I'm gonna stay out of the image creation game. For me, of course, the education aspect of it is always a plus. I'm so happy to see you're doing that, Lance, and kind of joining me in my push here. Next week, I'm in Mexico speaking to the World Education Engineering Forum, the deans of engineering schools across the world, and they want to learn how they can incorporate AI into engineering education. Because the big schools, the Ivy Leagues have done it, but the rest of them are still trying to catch up. And it's not just the engineering school, because I've also had another organization for business schools, because they're realizing that they need to incorporate some AI in their curriculum as well, even though, business is usually there was the tech don't, but nowadays there's so much overlap with in terms of the different roles. There's a whole new field of tech adjacent skill sets now. So everybody's because eventually AI will be a part of almost everything that we do. So no one can escape it. And so that's what I'll be doing next week. But I wanted to also talk about the fact that the models, Harvard University released a study where they're grading the model, that's the LLMs, on the transparency. So, there's some open source, of course, you can see the code, but then there's those that for proprietary reasons have kept their code secret. And so they are kind of grading these models now because they're like, the revolution cannot happen in private, but that's a whole nother issue. But LLM ops, that is the use of large language models in production. That's the new, that's so much new, but that's what's happening, right? Because the tools weren't intended for that, but they're not stable enough yet. But so they're working feverishly to get that happening. And it's even though it cannot be used in production because it's not stable and reliable enough in terms of the outputs, right? There's a lot of things that has to be changed, but there's still the developers can use it to help them free up some of their time from some the automated stuff so that they can spend more time on the innovations and the creativity and that kind of stuff. And so, but I think that people like Sandhu and Lance and even Big Al and others and Brand, I was trying to follow what you're saying, but listen, I have a PhD and I couldn't understand what you were talking about. That, I'm just saying.
It's okay. Everybody learns. It's okay.
I have to see it. If I don't see it, I love these LinkedIn audio calls because I don't have to get dressed. But then I don't understand some things because it's there's no visuals to go with it.
It's okay. We'll catch up. We'll catch up again. There is a smart QR code in the image of the event, so people can scan it. But
okay, I'll check it out.
I have, and also
I'll give
it's
you a sense
interactive.
really quick.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give you a sense really quick because you're an engineer. If with augmented reality, we can bring up the schematics of a building and actually show the 3D model for an architect on an empty plot of land. And so using your phone, you would scan a QR code or click on a hyperlink, and it would open up this model on the ground. So you would be looking out at your world through your camera, and you could see the building in front of you and walk through it and actually get approval with the engineers, the contractors, the architects, the designers, and say, oh, where are we going to put that fuse box? Because we're
Maybe
going
I
to
need
change
to
that
be
doorway.
introducing this to the deans of engineering schools next week.
I have already
I
I have already a video. It's on YouTube. I'll repost it here. I've basically the 3D model which is here. I just walk inside and I look left to right. I adjust it in real time. And that is what AR can do, which I think is super cool. But we do have other cookies toward the 3D part. This is just the intro. This is the the appetizer.
I had a quick question, Sandhu and Brant as well. Does that also include? Because I used to do new construction. I was an old cable rat, so we did infrastructure like the plumbing and stuff. So would in the future, do you think they'd be able to almost like have a menu where you can say, I want to view just the plumbing, I want to view just the electrical, I want to view dude,
it's already done. It's filters. Yes, it's done. But
There's something like.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry, you guys sounded.
No, I want to give the chance to Ernesto and Big Al to give their feeling. Otherwise, they are waiting. So, yeah, Ernesto
really
and Big Al, if you can give us your feedback as well. I know really cool stuff with AI in the late week anyway. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm always surprised more people don't know things. But yeah, it's absolutely Lance. I already use that on the field all the time. SketchUp gets a bad rap sometimes, but SketchUp has integrated AR for the longest time into their models that you can just, from any tablet, really kind of through visual kind of screening, do augmented reality. And that kind of segmentation of plumbing to, MEP, all those things you can already take from Revit models, incorporate them through SketchUp, and I do that all the time in real time. That's actually how I take dimensions and then go to sites and take pictures of what possible conditions.
So we need to catch up on SketchUp, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, please. But Blender, which is free, can do the same.
Yes.
And I know Sandhu knows that, I just personally have the ability to have licenses, and thank God bless for that. But Blender pretty much can do anything that other 3D modelers can do. And Lance, I wanted to also add to you, you spoke about reading, and this just last week, my reading went into overdrive thanks to an app called Speechify. I don't know if you've tried it, but it has the best text to audio AI enhanced reading. So I commute and drive a lot, so I've always thought that it's such a waste. I don't like books on tape because I can't accustom myself to switching off different voices. With this one, I can feed it any PDFs, any books I have, any things I write, and then it reads it back to me. Now, I've integrated that with ChatGPT, and you can start having conversations with yourself, with your own thoughts, and it's a great way to take your own notes, and that way you're hands-free, you're driving, but you're still talking, reading, and doing a lot more things and trying to be more productive with our own time. And that's what I think AI really enhances.
In your voice, Ernesto?
That it cannot do, but I'm sure it'll get there.
What voice does it read?
Can't do it yet.
Yes.
Oh, the assortment of voices is very varied. Snoop Dogg actually provided his own voice as one of the narrators, and it's odd to think that his voice is so good to understand reading, especially because some of the reading AIs create pauses in places that normally you wouldn't. When you hear Snoop Dogg do it,
his rate of speech, even in his rapping, is very understandable. That makes sense.
That's the thing, since our ears are already kind of tuned to his rate of speech, and in fact, his inflection and his pausing at certain places that you wouldn't, but in hip hop it happens. When it gets translated into, architectural theory, you can read it just fine. I can hear it without any pauses. So all those voices are really wonderful.
Let's make sure we put the link in the comments, Ernesto, to make sure people have access to the specify. Yeah.
I'm driving.
No, take your time. No, safety is the most important thing. So, everybody be safe. That's the most important thing in everything we do. The first thing is be safe. Make sure nobody gets harmed. That's the rule number one in construction, but in my opinion, this should be the rule number one everywhere in the world. Make sure everybody's safe. So, Big Al, on your side, share us your experience. I know you have a really cool post.
Oh, thanks, Sandu. This last week I did I wrote a story, Sherlock Holmes story, and I decided that I wanted to try to visualize this thing, and I started looking at different programs, and the thing that made me decide to use Microsoft Bing powered by DALL-E 3 was because it was the only program that really knew what the Beefeater's hat that Sherlock Holmes is famous for wearing, knew what it looked like. And it's a kind of a strange way for me to get myself introduced into this program. But what was interesting about it is not like prompting with Midjourney. It's conversational prompting, so you can actually write sentences and things. But what was interesting at the beginning, I mentioned that I wanted to have Benedict Cumberbatch and Lucy Liu as Watson, and Cumberbatch as Sherlock. And what happened was, of course, that was a TV series for 7 years, and so I started talking about that I wanted an opening image of a rainy, foggy, narrow street in London. And it said there were no episodes that opened that way. And I said, well, I'm writing a new Sherlock Holmes story. And it responded back, that sounds like fun. And then proceeded to give me suggestions of how to go about writing a Sherlock Holmes story. Anyway, I proceeded with doing these images, and I got phenomenal images with this program, and I was really able to write rather lengthy prompts describing everything that I wanted in the picture. The most amazing thing about it was on the ground and covers up and pretends that he's going to sleep, waiting the criminal to come and attack him. And anyways, the whole thing went together really well. But towards the end, I was getting that I had asked for a banned thing when I was asking for Lucy Liu in the pictures. Well, it turns out, apparently, now they have banned using actual stars' images in the program. Maybe, probably because of what I was doing and how many pictures I was generating and everything by doing this. But somebody else tried to do pictures of some other noteworthy stars, and it was telling them that that was banned. So I'm glad I got what I did when I did, and I think that it was amazing results, and I really don't understand why. I have no intentions of doing anything financially, getting any financial gains for this. This is just strictly education, so I mean, these are public figures. So
Yeah, no.
anyway,
Yes.
we'll see what happens.
Yes, there are a lot of policy coming, and I think a lot of developers they try to get ahead of that. But what is important, and kind of on the news, I want to mention that too. There are so many platforms, but what is important also, you need to know what the platform can do, obviously. But in my opinion, sometimes it's more important to know what the platform cannot do. And let me give you some examples. Like Midjourney, if you want to put a text, man, it's very, very nice, artistic. But the text, it's, oh my God, they still need to do a lot of work over there. A lot of work. Musavir is very responsive. I made a camera, I want my name on it, boom, my name was on it. I tried with Midjourney, hundreds of renders, did not do it. Now, back to what Ali is saying, you should know also about the DALL-E. There are some restrictions, and kind of, I understand why they don't want people to have their faces, personalities, and, because that could be misleading, especially in politics, or, you can have a politician making a statement and everybody takes it as true, and that might be wrong, So definitively there are some safeguards, and me personally, I think we should have some safeguards to make sure nobody gets harmed. Back to my safety things, which you're going to probably hear me about that always. Because if we do that, we're going to have an AI very positive. We're going to have a healthy, positive AI. A lot of people, they are having fear about the AI, but should not have fear. The AI is going to respond to the people as they are. If you take care of it, it's like a child. It's going to do good things, actually great things. And people can, humanity in general can move forward and take all the benefits, same as we did with atomic power. We always gonna take the good part of it. So I kind of want to say my small piece on that. But back to the news. I do have also other news regarding other software like Viscam. And we touch on the fact that a lot of people wants to see like open source AIs, which I think they will come. I think the quality of the images in general from the big developers is very high, but the next one in line, which are coming as free, they're not too far away. So I think that's a good thing, me personally. But Viscam, I noticed they usually are used for industrial, cars, bikes, and so on, everything which is related to automotive. They make also an update. I put the comments here, but their results also are amazing. So the next thing which I'm seeing as a news, I'm seeing the customization of AI. And I think we're going to see more on that side. And I just want to share that with you because I'm just curious what you think. What do we see the trend? A lot of people talk about, we have thousands of AIs, but what's the trend? Yes, we have the trend to have many, but in my opinion, if we look to the global scale, actually they will try to be very specific per different categories. And as I said, different platforms, they give you kind of different flavors of results from the renderings, and they will be tailored toward a certain direction. Like Musavir is very good with photographic stuff. If you want to do movies, scenarios or stuff like that, I think it's a great product. Midjourney, really good on artistic stuff, advertising and stuff like that, great. DALL-E, everything which is with text, I will probably not even think twice. DALL-E is probably the good one because it's really accurate. Musavir also is very accurate, but sometimes it might have a misspelling or double letters or stuff like that. They will fix that, I'm almost sure. But you need to know what the platform cannot do, and after that, if you don't have that, you need to know what's the alternative. So that will be my piece on this one. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, talk about the personalization because, as someone who straddles both ends in terms of the user and the researcher, the models as intended by Google, when they released the paper about the foundation model that for the first time combined the encoder decoder with the attention system, and that changed everything. They intended that these models would not to be used as they were. So that's why they released the code for everyone to take it and then do many different types of different personalization. And so what happened is OpenAI, they took it and they did some fine tuning and reinforcement learning and so on, and they released ChatGPT, and then everybody, like a crowd, just followed it down that path of the large language model conversational AI. But the models have been trained, the foundation models, on as much code as they have been trained on text. And so just as much as they intend for all of the text generation, they intend for using software applications. Of course, it's still behind, but the goal of these large companies like Google and others was for that people will take the foundation models and then customize them for their needs, whatever that may be. So that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
I had a question too that I wished Ernesto was still up here for, because as we deal with the foundation, one thing I do respect about Midjourney is before they let the public touch it, they had, if you weren't enrolled in an art program or had an art degree, they didn't really want you to touch it because they wanted to see the real issues that real artists are facing so that they can, kind of tune it before they let other people use it. But when you deal with the foundation, we sometimes forget, and I was going to wonder, maybe you can touch on this, Mr. Brandt, is that when we deal with, a lot of these things are really awesome. They look beautifully, so the fashion of it is beautiful, but the functionality, like you design a car or a bike, but can it pass a crash test? Is it safe? Like we're going back to Sandu, safety is your number one priority. And when we get to that, just because it looks good doesn't mean that it works. And just because it's aesthetically pleasing doesn't mean that it's engineered to specs. So, I think that's a caution that we even in any creation, there should be caution.
You're asking for too much now, Lance. Come on, you need for creations for what's that work.
Yeah, I can answer, but Brent,
I asked Sandu to design my house. You know what I'm saying? Because he's so good at it.
Yeah, Brent.
There's something new that I saw. I read a lot of white papers, throughout the week. There's a new model that I found that really blew me away. It's called PFGM++ model, and it's unlocking the potential of physics-inspired generative models. And so it's essentially using the underpinnings of physics and material science to, inside of the model, be able to come up with ideas for metamaterials and protein folding, and chemistry, because it's actually based on the underpinnings of molecular structure and chemistry and biology and thermodynamics, and it was a good direction in terms of applying a specific subset of scientific rules and underpinnings and understandings, and applying it then to that application of like, okay, we're not using just large language models right now to create protein folding. we actually need to understand the geometry. We need to understand the chemistry. We need to understand, and so
It's
this
peeling,
idea of
peeling the
training
onion.
specific
Yeah.
models.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
just the
AI
idea of
cracked the code of protein folding. In fact, the running
long
joke is
time
that
ago.
now
Yes.
they've taken away the PhDs from hundreds of
But
people. But also, and the material science is definitely the new way that's going. My husband works at NASA. They're using that to create tools. It's open source knowledge, so I'm not sharing any secrets.
yeah,
But yeah,
I
it's
just
it's
want
fascinating.
I just want to share something because there are multiple levels here. That's what I'm saying, peeling the onion.
Sister, do you
Uh,
have another black, what you call, sorry.
so what I'm trying to explain is that even with the game engines, you're gonna have the physics. They are there. You have gravity. Well, even in Blender, if you drop like a mesh, and it's gonna do it like a textile. It's gonna wrap around the spheres or whatever. You're gonna have that, but you're never gonna have two things which human always gonna have. First is creativity. So the machine right now, they are not created by themselves, and second is the critical thinking. Now on the second part, machines, they learn, but it's not knowledge. It's like it's not wise. They are not wise. Machines are not wise. In the sense that still making the links,
Say
the
that
bridges.
again, Sandu. Say it again.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, they are afraid. Oh, machines will reach this thing. No, they are not there. Right now they are still programs. They are still softwares. Yeah, maybe in future. So even with Odyssey, 2001 back in the 70s, they tried to show that with HAL 9000, but we're not there, guys. Like it's could be in the future. But the thing is, the creativity still is a human thing. And the second thing, back to the critical thinking, even if you have all those options, like in game engines, they will simulate any possible thing, physics and particles, whatever you want. But if you want to have a good car, you need to think about humans got those proportions. He wants to go in this way. This anticipation thing, which is part of the critical thinking, they are not there. It's gonna come maybe later, and that's the reason whatever we do with AI still needs to be refined, fine-tuned. Humans are gonna take it and they will adjust it. And actually, I just want to mention, I want to mention on 3D side, there's software which they generate 3D, but I post something in the comments regarding the robots. The next big thing is AI is going to be mobile. Right now, everybody thinks AI, it's a computer, therefore, okay, it's a phone, it's a laptop. But soon, they will be independent in a machine which is walking around, like I, the robot, Isaac Asimov. So that will be a big shift. And actually, it's a company over there, Fourier Intelligence, which are trying to do mass robots. Tesla is trying to do that. They have also other competitors. I post those as well. Boston Dynamics, they're doing actually, in my opinion, they are actually the first.
BJ's Wholesale,
Yes.
BJ Wholesale here
Exactly.
in America actually uses it for their inventory and also to check the productivity of their employees if they did or did not stock something.
Right.
That's actually already in advance.
And it's actually a really good trend, because that is where I'm seeing the practical application. And back to what Brent is saying, AR, that is going to be practical application. Right now, we're going to see nice images. We create, with AI, with a prompt, nice images. Obviously, the next step will be videos, and we attach sound to videos. Those are coming, no doubt about it. But the big step will be with the 3D, because we're going to take those images and we're going to convert it in real life. Either if it's augmented reality, either if it's a 3D print, but it's coming. And we're going to have all those robots, and from production point of view, things could be better. We can solve a lot of problems in this world, like a lot of things that are not done because we don't have the production mass to do it. But, or working in dangerous places, you can send the robots over there and they will fix it. But that is where I'm seeing the biggest change, which is coming. And kind of we need to touch on that as well, because at one time I'm saying, as 1 year ago, people, they cannot think that they can use a prompt to create an image. I think probably in 2025 people, they'll go back and say, well, I was not thinking that I could create this and show you it's 3D or it's showing AR, because probably it's going to be AR. So that is the big shift which people need to think. And education-wise, here is some example. Just imagine this QR code, it's on top of a children's book. They will scan it and they will emerge on that. Just imagine Alice in Wonderland, and you have all those AR and you just go into the book, literally. What about that? How it's going to be? What do you think, guys?
They have actually AR built into some walking parks for for interactive things like this. So you take a picture of it. There's a game you can play, which actually allows you to exercise as well. So it's cool how they're introducing that into fitness, wellness.
Yes.
Also for like city tours and things of that nature, museums and stuff like that. You can touch on things and get a virtual tour guide to help you through things. So I think that's pretty cool.
One of the things I'm
Spot
excited
on.
about as
Yep.
far as that is concerned is using it in education for the STEM subjects, for the experiments and laboratories, because there's so many of our schools in the disenfranchised areas where they don't have the technology, they don't have the funds and the resources to get all the things they need for teaching certain subjects. So I'm hoping that AI will change that.
And also because
Spot
of
on.
PETA, you can't do a lot of these dissections and stuff anymore, like cadaver pigs and stuff like that, or frogs. So now they're doing a lot of virtual dissections so that they can see the process without experiencing the blood and guts and clean up and having to mass order cadaver frogs and pigs and other things like that. So that's cool.
Yeah, they have AI surgery now. You can have a robot operate on you.
Right?
No,
Yes.
no, thank you.
No, not there, but
built up-
yeah, Dr. Astafa, if it was on the list, I really intended to have his feedback. But yes, we posted in the previous event something similar, and yeah, the technology is there. We can do that. Yes, that's true.
Built out a lot of anatomy models actually in the platform. And so I can show you a circulatory system or the skeletal system. We can bring these to the schools immediately. I built out a
Lego's
lot of
actually
STEM
doing
programs.
that too. Yeah, Lego has where you can build like the heart and stuff like that too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, with this was actually able to inside a blender, to give you the trick, I was able to do a transform of 10%, changing the size of the cardiovascular system as it relates to the heart beating at the same time. So you could actually show what's called vasodilation, how all of your veins actually expand and contract, connected to the heart.
Now
idea
I'm
is-
understanding you, Brent. Now you're speaking to me.
Right? Okay, dig it. Because I'm actually trying to show the parasympathetic nervous system and how to actually breathe diaphragmatically. And so we can show all of that with an AR model in front of you.
Yeah, actually,
I am a
Brett,
voice coach,
yeah.
so when that comes out, I need that from you immediately because I teach diaphragmatic breathing for singing.
Oh.
So as soon as it comes out, connect with me.
No,
This
but
week. That's
yeah, but Brent, actually, you can have that video and they share it. Definitely, we can put it in the comments here. I will share also the video which I made it with SketchUp when I merged it in the house. But you guys, you realize the potential of the augmented reality and also the 3D. Right now, we are still thinking 2D, and we're gonna have from prompt a nice image. In our mind, it is like 3D because it looks like 3D, obviously. Like you take an image of architecture, that's 3D. Architecture by itself is 3D because people are living in the architecture. But the next step, it's there. In my opinion, we are on the gas, but in my opinion, it was already there. And I'm really looking forward, that how many possibilities are coming there. Gigantic, enormous, and especially for education, and also for the average people. Just imagine you can immerse yourself in a house without, disturbing the real environment or stuff like that. Like it's also safe. It's also makes you thinking better. You can make the decision. So it's awesome. The future is so bright.
How far away do you think is Real D? Because I know there's 3D, and then they have like in the amusement parks they have Real D, which actually adds the element of the splashing water on your face or the blast of air, so that now you're not just interacting with a virtual, kind of VR, AR, but now what about Real D? and in conjunction with 3D. What do you think about that?
There are some movies, you go to the movie theater and they can actually have those kind of sensations. I need to search it. It was a video where they have like a flame, and they induce also the heat. They induce also the smell. And therefore it was like, oh my God, the theater is burning, but it was not. It was fully immersed, like 3D all over. And after that, they added all those additional sensory things, sounds, but also smell, and other stuff which are related to the real feeling is like, it looked like it's real, but obviously it was not. So yeah, I will look to that too.
I think Sandu, it was back in the 50s when they came out with Smell-O-Vision in the movies, and it was not a very big hit. It didn't last long.
No, but
the 3D glasses, right, Al?
Yeah, again, in innovation, a lot of people, they talk innovation. I even see one video, somebody said, oh, look, the Hyundai Ioniq is going to have a car parking on the side. I almost laughed. The cars can turn the wheels 90 degrees since 1910s. The invention was since then. But it was never getting the tracks to be like for all the cars to be able to park at 90 degrees, like the whole wheel to turn. But
it's not affordable. It can't be affordable.
Yeah, it needs to be practical as well, obviously. So
it's a business factor.
Right. There are many other things which are coming. Cool. All right. Well, unfortunately, again, we ran out of time, but it's okay. We have tomorrow another meeting. We have another cool discussion tomorrow, and obviously I can plan for the next week as well. Let's make sure whatever we discuss, guys, let's put it in the comments. I know I need to put at least 2-3 videos. And again, thank you very much for people on the audience being kind to stay with us, for people here on the stage. And if you guys have any questions, again, write it in the comments, or feel free to write it to me directly if you want, or to the people which they talk. This is how we grew up, and I really want to make sure we share our experience, and you guys, you can have the best which you can from AI. Thank you very much again. I really appreciate it.
Wonderful joining you all. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.